All right, go ahead with questions for Coach.
Patrick, you're meshing your defensive philosophies with Pete. What is that process like?
I mean, anytime you get a chance to work with someone with that experience, that level of success, I couldn't be happier with the experience going on right now, just in terms of being able to bounce ideas off of them, hear different ways of doing things. It's been real beneficial for my growth, if I'm being selfish, which has been something really good and positive for me. And then, again, the track record, I mean, why wouldn't you listen? I mean, like, you gotta listen. And it's been great. It's been great.
Patrick, to that point, Pete specifically has had great success in the secondary with defensive backs and everything. Just what have you share your thoughts with him on that aspect of the defense?
I'm being a sponge anytime he's talking to those guys. That's my personal experience with it, and you can see the energy he has and the ability to teach the position and coach the whole team. It's just been really a great situation for myself, for the players, the coaches. We're watching a master teacher working at his craft and seeing it live and in person. It's real beneficial for us.
So this is another offseason change for you guys. What went into that process for you of connecting with Pete Carroll once he got hired and making your way back here?
The thing about the NFL, every season is a season of change, so we get accustomed to it. Each week is a week of change. So, I would say that we're all used to something like that to a certain degree. But just working with Pete's been great. I mean, it's been great. I mean, just the energy, talk about that, the football knowledge, learning from there, and just having somebody to be able to talk to about situational football, talk about defensive philosophy. It's been great for me. And that's me being selfish, just talking about from my perspective. I couldn't be happier with the situation. It's been great.
Coach, what have you learned about the defense throughout OTAs? And kind of a two-part question, that one, but also what's the biggest thing you've learned from Pete Carroll so far?
So from the defense, they'll hate this answer, but we got a long way to go. But so do I as a defensive coordinator for 2025 season. So that's the benefit of the OTAs and the mini camps. You get out here. Football in June, you guys probably heard me saying that to the players. It's a great experience, and the situational football we're going through, that's been positive, and we're learning from it. And then just in terms of, Pete, I've said it enough already, it's been a great experience for me. It's been a great experience for me.
What have you seen out of Darian Porter in terms of like what he brings to the table skill set wise?
Obviously the length, that's a positive right there. The speed, that's all stuff that's documented. The thing that I see the most that sticks out to me is the combination of his effort and his ability to correct mistakes. So when you have a rookie player coming in first time in the NFL, if you can see the effort, him getting on the same page with how we play, our play style, that's a positive there. And then if you can eliminate the repeat mistakes, you're on the way to becoming a dependable football player.
Patrick, Christian is working his way back, but what can you say about your group of defensive tackles so far?
Love the group. The group has been, I think they spearhead them in the defensive ends. They spearhead the message about effort in terms of you see those guys running around. I know you haven't been at every practice, but they're running around after doing a tough individual with Robbie and his crew over there. So that's been the most positive thing that I could talk about right here without getting into any specifics, but the effort and how they play, the play style, how their play style, the relentlessness they play with, and then on top of that, the bond they build off the field. I'm again old linebacker coach, old D-line coach, but if I ever need a pick-me-up, I'll go sit in the room. Go sit in the room and just listen to them bond and how they communicate. It's pretty cool.
Patrick, what are you hoping Darren Wright can add to the defense?
I'm always hoping for good football players to play good football. So I mean, that's the simple answer. But his experience is a positive. I would say that his flexibility for the position. He's played all over the field before. He's been productive both in the run and the pass game in different ways. Whether it's blitzing, whether it's covering people, whether it's manipulating the front. So it's always a positive to have a good football player. It's always a positive to have a smart football player. And then you put on top of that experience. I just hope it all comes to fruition once we get going.
Patrick, Jacarian was somebody that was playing at a pretty high level, and injuries hit him, kind of interrupted what was moving in the right direction. How has he kind of responded so far this time of year, and what's the next step for him?
I mean, you have to ask him specifically all the ins and outs of it. But for me, coming out here every day, working hard, the speed's not going to go anywhere. You see the physicality. I mean, in terms of him building his body back up, he can see where he's at with that just when he's walking around. And then the next step for him is just to keep improving. Again, still young player. I don't have the number of games on hand right now, but it probably doesn't even amount to a full season yet based on injury history, what happened with the injuries last year. But just keep improving, because at that position, once you get some more experience, see all the releases, understand the situation of football, it's all going to help them be better later on.
You've seen 3 regimes in 3 seasons, and obviously there were optimistic moments in each of those 3 seasons, especially this time of the year. But what just feels different about the energy in the room right now?
Each season's so different, Each season's so different. Every season there's 32 teams that have great optimism about the season. So the thing I can say about the 25 Raiders, we're having fun out there. We're learning how to practice, at a high level. We're in the vision of how Pete wants it. So again, there's no like certain feeling or anything, because the seasons are always different. But I just know that this group of men right here, they're forming a bond. They're understanding how it's based on relationships here. And the biggest thing that we have to focus on right now is not real true football, but we got to play with great effort, communication, get our fundamentals down. So that's usually stuff we talk about every season.
Coach, there's a lot of new faces on the linebacker core as well. And Landon Roberts, a veteran of the game, of course. Like, what does he help bring to kind of help stabilize that group as you've seen so much changeover with them?
E-Rob will joke about it. It seems like whether I've never coached them, but it seems like I coached them. He said, like, Pat, you've never coached me, but it seems like you coached me, because we have so many mutual connections in the NFL. So that's been real positive. I love talking football with them. We could sit over there, whether it's on the sideline, just on the sideline, can't say in the office. So, but like it's been great just talking football with them. And that position is critical for me to be able to speak to them. I don't want them to be coaches, but for us to have a great understanding, because usually that's the spot with the green dot.
Coach, can you talk about bringing in Jeremy Chin and what he's provided to the safety room, but also kind of Isaiah and him stepping up and kind of taking on that role kind of from last year as well?
Starts off, I would say, with Jeremy, the leadership. I don't know if you guys got a chance to talk to him, but just in terms of his leadership, he's very sure of himself because he puts in the work. That self-confidence comes from preparation. It's not a self-esteem thing or self-talk thing. When you're prepared, you have that you're really, really confident. That's what I see from him. And he's been a sponge in terms of learning how we want to do things. And then all the physical attributes, but all 32 teams know about that. The speed, the size, the physicality, the ability to tackle, nose for the ball. So, it's all been positive there.
In terms of collaborating with Pete and this new regime, what would you say is the identity of Raiders defense this year?
Well, it starts with our effort. I hate. If one thing I've learned from Coach is to make sure simplify the message and just keep giving it to him. So like, it doesn't have to be 20 code words or 20 buzzwords or some big paragraph or anything. We got to play with great effort. We're building the foundation for being a physical team. We got to play smart, So those are the things in terms of what we want the defense to look like, and then make the offense earn it. No easy plays. You got to take away seams. You got to take away posts. You can't let them run the ball around the edge. Again, it's not real football in terms of the run game yet, but we have to have an understanding of that's what we're trying not to give up.
Two more, Paul and Q.
Patrick, you've obviously seen a lot of regime change here since you've been here as a coach on the staff, but there's also been nothing but continuity with you as a defensive coordinator. How key then is continuity for you in terms of getting that effort, but also ultimately having success defensively?
The continuity thing, again, I keep telling you guys, each season's so different. You take a step back, you evaluate yourself, me personally, like what did I do, what can I do better, what was good. Then you look at the defense and see what was good, what was bad. Then you got to look within the league and see what the trends are. Because if you don't stay ahead of it, you could get in trouble. So, it's important. You have to ask the players. Maybe they can, but like we start over every year. So that's a big part of it. But, regardless, the other 31 teams don't care what our feelings are about continuity or whether. So we got to get on the same page. And that's why we spend all this time in the office. That's why we're spending this time out on the field. So we got to get on the same page. Everybody's got to understand what the vision of coach, how coach wants this team to be run, and our play style and everything, and we got to go from there.